Director of Floor Operations, joins us on the CNBC Newsline. Art, it's great to have you back because we last spoke, I think, in mid to late January when we were testing 3,900, and a lot's happened since then. How do you judge the progress of the bulls to the degree there's been progress?
It's been pretty good. I think the upside surprised a lot of veteran traders, including a few old fogies like me, and they look like they were regrouping, but I think it just may have been a little bit of excess strength at the end of January. We have a mild seasonal pattern call where if you get a strong January like this one, it's good for the rest of the year, but it usually means that strong January ate up a good deal of the strength of the first quarter, so that February in particular and then March to a lesser degree, things kind of stall out. Now, we're going to have a 10-year auction at 1 o'clock today. I think yields are going to be very important. We've got about 3 more Fed speakers to come up. Williams was a little more hawkish than we had seen. And I think what happened yesterday was that it wasn't so much that Powell let them off the hook, but that Clarida, the former vice chair, conceded that there was an outside chance that the Fed could be cutting by the end of the year. Now, we hadn't heard that from anybody but the bulls in the market, and I think that's what they picked on, and that's what carried us through. So I'm a little suspect here. The bulls have the momentum in the short run, but I would watch out if they roll over and break below 4,100. I'd be very careful. I'd go watch this auction. The yield on the technicals on the yields look like we might get a little bit of a push to the upside. We might test 390 or maybe even 4% in the 10s.
Wow. You think that's in the cards, or do you need incremental things like, I don't know, Manheim used cars to get that moving again?
I think there is that possibility. We're going to see a lot of important things. You know, for example, this auction today, how well bid is it? Where does it go? I think, Powell is kind of even-handed these days, but I think some of the regional Fed presidents may talk a little more hawkish just because they want to get the message. I think some of the regional guys are frustrated that the market has not believed them. The market is beginning to catch up. As Steve Leisman said earlier, there was a big divergence between what the market's outlook was and what the Fed had said, and the market, in fact, has adjusted to a slightly tighter move. Now, I think earnings season is almost over. But I think what's going to bother markets as they review it is it looks like the profit margins are being compressed here, and that may hurt things in the outlook. So I think the bulls are in charge. They impressed everybody with the kind of overtrade in late January. But seasonality, we should be due for a bit of a rest here. So I'm going to be careful. I'm going to watch the regional Fed guys and see what they say.
So Fed speak, technicals. Art, I mean, the big moves we've seen and the moves that I think are a little bit at times of a head scratcher versus what the fundamentals are suggesting, at least so far to start the year. I mean, this is a week where we're talking about artificial intelligence and AI and how it's affecting everybody's lives and being deployed by the biggest tech companies. But AI is already well at work in the markets as well, right?
Oh, yeah. But you do bring up a good point here, Morgan, because we're having in this whole AI speculation a kind of mini or miniature .com bubble. You know, that fever, that frenzy that we saw when the .coms took, oh, boy, eyeballs. Look what we got. Everybody started bidding things up. Well, we're seeing that in a smaller group of techs. Everybody's delirious with the artificial intelligence thing. I would suggest to you that you want to be careful with that. You want to look at the big guys with a lot of capital, and that would be, obviously Microsoft and Alphabet, and I think Apple may be coming around the corner. So those are the people who I think can have the capital to dig into artificial intelligence. But right now, it's almost like the meme stocks. To buying anything, if you put artificial intelligence next to your name, your stock goes up.